and I get my athletes going, and then that helps promote my business as well. So, I mean, that is my goal. Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years, that's what I want. That's what I'm doing, and I'm not worried about sponsors anymore because I'm doing the marketing myself correctly.
I like that. Yeah, I love what King's Camp is doing out at the races. They're out at, I think they're Sacramento area, San Francisco area. They adopted me to go to Iceland with them. I went on their team up there, which was really a nice compliment. And we made a few bucks when we went up there and did that with them, so that was cool. But, they do a great job bringing in a team at all the races. They got their hats, and you realize that there's something special there. And I can just see, what you're talking about now down the road, that, you're your own deal and you've got your athletes out there.
Yeah.
So what are your goals this year for Spartan Racing? Where do you see yourself? What's your first event? Or have you done an event already this year?
No. I'm looking to race next weekend in Florida at the U.S. Series. So just focusing on the U.S. Series this year. Actually, the first 2 races I don't think will be too great for me.
Okay.
So I'm just going out there to have fun in the first 2 races, and then after that, the last 3 races is where I'm going to put a lot of my focus in. So yeah. Trying to do something different this year because usually I start out the year pretty strong, and then I kind of maintain. And this year, what I want to do is I want to kind of make the ending of the season a lot better. So,
are you giving away your secrets right now?
Not really. I think a lot of people if you're an elite athlete, they kind of understand there's a strategy in how you where you put your efforts in.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them know that it's not sustainable to be fit from February all the way to October. Yeah. It's just not possible. So I think a lot of them are they'll probably do 2 or 3 races really hard, and then they'll take a break, and then have a few races that are a little down, and then they'll come back again towards the end of the season. So I'm kind of doing it a little different, where I'm just going to be flat at the start, and then I'm going to be more effective towards the end of the season, where there's more higher level competition and bigger prize purses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Who are you concerned about this year, or who you already have your eye on for the competition?
Let me see. Actually, Spartan racing is so awesome because it's so diverse.
Yeah.
It's so in hilly courses, I'm worried about Ryan Atkins. And flat courses, I'm worried about Ryan Woods.
Yeah.
So yeah. So those are the 2 guys that basically they push me a lot to go hard. So I like racing against those guys. So,
yeah. The young guy that's out there, is it VJ?
VJ. Yeah. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's awesome. He's really great at shorter flat courses.
Yeah.
When it gets to hilly long courses, he's inconsistent.
Yeah.
But I think this year he's working a lot on his aerobic base, so he should be pretty good this year. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, you guys are incredible and fun to watch. I'm going to put you on the spot for us older guys, and as you're in the elite class. I know I've got a lot of competitive racer listeners. A lot of the guys in the age group classes, they're not necessarily chasing the series because although it's important, if you want to go for the world ranking points, there's no money or anything like that.
Right.
A lot of these guys are racing every race that goes through the season. And for me, my plans were to do Chino, Arizona, Vegas, keep going.
Just the locals,
until I blow myself up, I guess, which I did. Any advice for kind of those competitive racers on how to be successful or how to have a good, fun, successful season?
Yeah, I would definitely look at your schedule. That's important. You want to think about how you're going to qualify for Tahoe, because that's the most important one. If you're going to qualify for Tahoe, how are you going to do that? Are you going to chase the series or the U.S. series, or are you going to do West Virginia? And then when you look at that and you look at the numbers and you say, okay, well, it's cheaper for me to go to West Virginia, but the thing is, when I get to West Virginia, I need to be perfect. I need to be 100%.
Yeah.
So you build your race schedule around West Virginia, and you say, okay, West Virginia is my number one. And I'm talking if you're doing this on a budget. If you're going to go chase a series, odds are you'll probably qualify because not many people are going to be chasing the series. So if you did all 4 or 5 races, odds are you're going to qualify automatically. So it's like, it's nice. But if you're not going to change the series, that means you're going to have to qualify via, West Virginia. And if you're going to qualify via West Virginia, you have to set your schedule so that you can actually have a really good race at West Virginia. I'm not saying peak because, you want to peak at Tahoe.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to do a semi-peak at West Virginia, and you want to make sure any race prior to West Virginia is more than 2 weeks out so that you're not fatigued going into West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And then prior to that, you don't want to have too many stacked races. So don't stack up your June and July with a bunch of races and then get into, West Virginia tired and fatigued. You want to make sure you have a healthy amount of races prior to West Virginia so that you're confident, and then you race West Virginia at 100%.
Yeah.
That's the best route. And then you got to get top 70, and then you qualify.
Yeah, I think even age group, you got to.
It's even lower.
It's even lower for we're 50 and over, right? I think it's top. You got to be top 3.
Yeah.
To qualify.
Well, I think West Virginia has more
space.
More space.
Okay.
It's like top 30 or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I know you're right though. The age group is different from the pro. The pros is top 70, and I think it's top 30 from the series, and then for you guys it's top 10 in the series, and then it might be 40 or something like that, like top 40.
Yeah.
So it's like 50 Americans are going to the Tahoe.
Yeah. What just real brief on Spartan itself. I absolutely love what they're doing. Their whole philosophy of getting people off the couch, and overcoming, your fears. There's a lot of different types of OCR racing out there, but what I seem to love about Spartan as opposed to some of the others, it seems genuine to physical activity, overcoming fears, and having passion for physical fitness as opposed to I'm going to go get electrocuted on something silly, right?
Right.
I don't know what your feeling is, but that's how I feel about Spartan. I love what they're doing.
Yeah, like the way Spartan kind of carries themselves and how they present their product is very smart, because what they're doing is they're taking people and getting them off the couch, and then they get them passionate about something that's fitness-based, right? And then at that point, then they get them competitive. So it's like it kind of has a full circle. I was telling my my wife the other day, I was like, okay, when we're talking about Tough Mudder no longer having prize money and no longer being going into the competitive route, and I was telling her, like, I think it's a big mistake. It's a huge mistake, and the reason why is because this community is getting more competitive. It's getting more fit. It's getting stronger. It's not going backwards. It's going forward. It's like, unfortunately, they kind of want to go back to the time where, oh, remember when we were just having fun in the mud? Let's go back to that. And it's like, no, this sport is already growing. It's already maturing. It's like, you can't take your kids and have them become babies again. It doesn't happen. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So you got to move forward. It's like you can't go backwards. So what basically what the sport is now is that you're taking people that are super fit or actually, sorry, go back. You're taking people off the couch.
Yes.
And now they start getting interested in this sport, and they just get fitter and fitter and fitter and fitter. And when we went to Chino, oh my God, we saw so many people. We saw so many people that were fit, that were strong. And I told my wife, I was like, remember this crowd in 2015? And she's like, yeah. He's like, there was only the elites and then everyone else. And now you can't even tell the difference. Yeah. You can't even tell the difference because everybody looks fit. Everybody looks strong. And there's some people that you notice that are like, oh, I bet you that's their first one. Because, they're not as fit as everybody else. Yeah. But give them a year, and they're going to be a part of the crowd. You can't even tell.
They'll be there in a year.
Yeah.
Because they'll get hooked.
So it's like, that's the whole thing. I'm like, this sport is growing up to become a sport. It's so, like, everyone's getting so fit now and so strong. It's like, we can't go backwards. Now we have to just go forward. And what that means is even, more competitive waves, more incentives for people that are doing age groups and actually being competitive. There's just too many people now. There's too many people that are fit.
It's an interesting point you make because I'm seeing that. I lost 20 pounds Spartan racing, and I was in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
You talked about your weight.
I went up. I went up 20 pounds.
You went up. I went down. But no, I have around 163, and I know that's where I need to be competitive. What's interesting in my age group in the 50 and over is that these, I went out there, I turned 50. I'm like, I'm going to go out there and smoke these guys. Not true, man. No. It's hard because, like you said, people are getting fitter. To that point, one of the things that I really appreciate about the sport, and I hope people are listening to this that aren't doing the sport yet because I think they'll want to. I was waiting for my wife to come around because she went at a different time, and she messed up. She didn't get into the competitive group. She had to do the open. Mm-hmm. Right, so she's out there with the open class, and I'm standing at the fence, and this guy's like, he could see I just went, and he's like, "Oh, how was it?" I'm like, "Had a great race." He's like, "Well, what does that mean?" I'm like, I got second. He's like, "Oh my God, you're so incredible." I'm talking to him, but I'm looking out at the crowd. I said, "You want to know what?" I said, I trained for this a lot, and I probably could have did better if I really dug in. I said, what's incredible is those people in front of us right now. These people in the open class, maybe they're first timers, and we were in front of the Herc-Hoist, and you see people giving it everything they absolutely have. And when they're done, they're going to be exhausted and hurt and tired, but they're going to go, this is the most incredible thing I ever did, right? They have that sense of accomplishment. To me, those are the incredible people that are out there just giving it everything they got there for the first time. It's so amazing to watch.
I think that's what's interesting about the sport of Spartan, because even after we're done, and I see people on the rigs, and I see people hurting on the Herc-Hoist, and I'm watching these people. I'm like, this is just beautiful.
It is.
These people giving 100%, and they get the obstacle done, and then they're just exhausted and happy, and then everyone's clapping for them, and it's like, that was the open wave. It's like, that's incredible. These people never had that experience in running because it doesn't exist. When you see runners come in and it's like, oh, okay, he's giving it his all, and he's working hard. But most people don't give it attention because they're like, oh, he's in the back of the pack. I've noticed that. I've noticed when I see people give it their all and they're still back of the packers, I'm like, wow, that person's putting out 100%. That's beautiful. Not that many people notice it. Yeah. But in Spartan, it's kind of very visible. Yeah. It's like you can see it. Yeah. You see the hurt on someone's face, pulling a bucket and trying to get it done, and it's like, wow, it's just like I said, it's poetic in its effort.
I think that's something important to recognize is when people are given 100%, because it's so easy to pretend.
Right.
But like you said, in Spartan racing, it's easy to identify, and even if they are the last person, you realize they're giving everything.
They're giving everything they got. Yeah,
and thank God for them, because when they get home, they're a better person for it.
Yeah.
Last couple of things before we wrap up, and I really appreciate the time. I read a quote a long time ago about how surfers make better CEOs. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because they talk about putting yourself in danger. You hop on a big wave, and the decision's been made, man. Either you're going for it or you're not, right? And if you're going for it, you could die on a big wave.
Right.
It makes the decision process so much easier when you're in the boardroom. Mm-hmm. Because you make decisions like on that wave. Well, you know what? If I fall, I'm going to have to live with it. I'm going to have to overcome whatever happens if I fall. And I could die. Yeah. In the boardroom, you make decisions. You're not going to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You learn to live with your decisions and how to overcome them if they're bad ones, or how to compensate for them. And I feel like Spartan racing and endurance racing is very similar, because we go out there and we give it 100%. And when it comes time to go back to the boardroom or back to your day job, right? Yeah. It makes it so much easier. I mean, the connection between athleticism and pushing it and then going back to work really can change your career path and who you are as an employee or as an owner or business manager.
Yeah. No, I always saw, I always said that, runners are natural COOs, Chief Operation Officers. And the reason why is because we're always trying to, get after that second. We're always trying to get faster. We're always trying to get better and more efficient. So the way we look at the world and the way we look at our running and our athletics is different from other people. When I do something, I'm always looking at, how do I get another 5 seconds faster? How can I do this a little bit faster? And most people don't think like that. They have to artificially think like that. Okay, we're trying to make it, I always get mad at like Six Sigma process and stuff like that.